Hi guys, it's Alston. In this video, we are going to learn about virus die. I have divided this video into three major components where the first component is going to be explaining the product or explaining website security in nature to give you better understanding of the use cases and as well as all the features and functionalities of this product and how this might be useful to you. The second part of the video is where I'm going to demonstrate how you can install Virus Die in one live website and showcase how to go about protecting your website and all the features and settings which is available within Virus Die for you. And final, I'm going to showcase how you can possibly use this virus die to offer it as a service to a digital agency customers, or if you are a web designer, how you can potentially upsell to the customer. Give you some tips on it in case if you are interested on it. So without further ado, first there is a great deal going on Virus Die. So if you are interested in checking it out, I will leave both a referral and non-referral link on the video description. You can choose whichever the link you want, but if you decided to click on my referral link, I will get a small commission, but it does not affect your purchase price, but helps me to create more videos like this. So without further ado, first the explanation of Virus Die and website security. Basically, website security means essentially like we do have desktop computers, we install virus softwares or internet security solutions. The main reason is to protect our website files, the desktop files or our computer from security issues. The same concept applies for website also. A solution like Virus Die is a website security solutions which helps you to prevent attacks and also help your website to recover in case of any malware or any kind of hacking or any kind of issues with your website to recover from that particular issue. So that is what Virus Die does. There are two types of security solution when it comes to website, where one is a built-in security solution or another one is something called external security solution. Virus Die falls into external security solution because you don't need to have everything on website within website itself, like installing a WordPress plugin and keeping all the security, all the settings, everything within your local website itself. Where Virus Die, all you need to do is just download a file and give it to your customer, or if you just install it one time on the cPanel or the hosting of the website, then you don't need access to the website. All the scanning, monitoring, everything is done externally. Both of these option has its own pros and cons, so depending on that and also from your personal perspective or personal preference, you can choose whichever the one you want. Me personally, I like to keep all my security solutions outside my website installation to get a better management and also keep my WordPress or website installation lean as possible and also make it easier when I'm offering services for clients. So that is why Virus Die is one of my personal favorite, which I've been using for more than 2 years. So I thought of creating this video to explain you better. So now let me go into by features of Virus Die to give you better understanding on what it does and give you some sort of explanation for it. The first one is the website antivirus, as I already mentioned. Just example is the website your desktop computer. We are installing antivirus solutions. Similar to that, we are installing antivirus solution within our websites to protect your website from any virus kind of issues or recover your website from any already infected virus issues within it. So that is the first component. The second component is patch management. Especially this is something very critical if you installing WordPress or something like that. Basically, we call this as vulnerabilities. There are so many updates coming to themes, plugins. There are thousands of themes where whenever there is an update, there is always a possibility there can be a vulnerable or some kind of a issue which can lead to increase the chances of potential hacking attempt or potential attack from a mass scale attack using these vulnerabilities. So patch management is where it monitors all these vulnerabilities, and if it discovers some kind of issues, it will report you. So either you can deactivate it temporarily or look for an automatic update and see how you can go about fixing that. So that is what we mean as patch management. And the advanced editor for tools for investigating. As I mentioned, that VirusDie is not a built-in solution but rather external solution where you only need to do one time to install a particular PHP file within the hosting. Once that is done, you no longer require access to it. So let's say, for example, in case you want to view the files within the website or what are the different associated with it, I know that there is some kind of virus within this particular file, but let's say, for example, I want to actually open the file and see. So without even leaving VirusDie dashboard, you can do everything from here because it shows all the files of that particular website through a file manager. It gives you a search tool and also a option to edit all this file from your VirusDie dashboard itself. The next one is the firewall, where it's more about preventing your website from all sort of security attacks which is coming through some sort of bot traffic or spam traffic. Especially this is something like DOS attacks or PHP attack. You can monitor all the traffic. It automatically gives you an option to whether take out all the action automatically or just to report it to you. So you can choose depending on your preference. There is a website firewall with IP filtering, blacklist, whitelist, and you can also have country blocking also available within this. And finally, it's I do have a blacklist of all the monitoring process. Basically, blacklist is something like there are website protection when, especially if you have seen it from Google or Chrome browser, when you visit some website, it might show you that this website is not safe. That is because the website has been infected with malware, and Google search engine has identified that it contains malware and gives you a notifications to user that visiting this website can lead to some sort of infection on your computer or your security might not be safe. So not just Google, but there are so many different services, softwares, plugin also does something like this. So if your website is end up in one of this blacklist, it can damage your reputation and as well as potentially reduce visitors coming to your website. So what it does, it monitors 60 plus blacklist. So whenever your website ends up in one of this, it will give you a notification so you can fix what of the issues with the help of VirusDie and give you an option to unblacklist or give you instructions on how to follow and get started on it. The final one is not compulsory, but it's an additional feature where it's more like reporting feature. Like if you're planning to use VirusDie for your own personal website, you might not need this very often, but in case if you need your own security alerts to your email address or to send reports to your client, in case if you're selling the services, you can use their reports and alert features to get much more better reports or statistic regarding your website protection and as well as virus security cleaning service as well. So that is what VirusDie and all of its feature. Now let me show you a demonstration on how you go about installing VirusDie within your website. You can see now I'm in the backend of the VirusDie. Basically, this is the application. It is very simple user interface for a security because we usually think when we are thinking about security, there's going to be a lot of options. There are so many options within VirusDie also, but their interface is very easy to navigate and even a beginner can easily start using it without any advanced training. First, all the option is going to be within website. I have obviously hidden all my other website just for security purposes. I can't reveal it. So in this case, I'm just going to showcase how you can go about installing VirusDie or website protection for my personal website alstonanthony.com. Basically everything is here. You control your agency data here. For example, when I go into my agency, it will show all the web agency details which is available. Basically, you can customize all these things as you want. Where this will appear is when you are generating reports for your clients or your personal records, it will change all the branded here. For example, logo is mentioned here, the logo title or the logo name, all the thing. These are the things where whatever the data you set it up here, it will automatically replace it for these particular reports. So that is only where you control the agency. Apart from that, all these things are very common. You can support contact support of VirusDie from here, from ticketing solution, profile data, billing data. So let me go back to websites now. So in order to add a website or to add website virus protection for your website, all you need to do is click on plus and give a website name, for example alstonanthony.com. And there are, in case if you are using WordPress, there is also a WordPress plugin within VirusDie for connecting and using these things. I personally don't use it because I prefer to use the native file integration, because it works for any website which is PHP based, and it's also easy. But if you want to use WordPress, I will leave the link so you can check it out. But in this case, I'm not going to use that. Instead, I'm just going to use their native way of connecting. First, I'm going to give the domain name. And once that is done, now I need to just download the sync file and start uploading it to my hosting service. So first, I need to download this, and it will download me a PHP file right now. You can see it's downloaded it. Now I need to make sure that I install or upload this file to the root of my domain. Basically, you can do this in multiple different way, either using directly logging into your hosting solution and uploading it, or through FTP server or something like FileZilla, you can upload it. Or if you are using something like a WordPress site, there are free plugins such as VP File Manager. You don't need the Pro, just the free version is more than enough. All you need to do is install this. Then when you go into VP File Manager, you get this kind of option where you can upload that PHP file directly from your VP admin dashboard itself. Let me do that now. Now you can see that I have uploaded the file. You can see this PHP file, I have uploaded it, which means now I'm ready to start using it. If I go back to here, just to make sure that whether I have installed it or not, I can open this link now and see whether it's actually connected. And you can see it shows that website is indeed connected to VirusDie. In case for some reason it's not showing this page, that means you have made a mistake. Either it's not on the root domain of your domain, or that's like you have mistakenly uploaded the wrong file. So make sure when you upload it, it shows that it is connected to VirusDie. So once that is done, all you need to do is click on next, and you can see it now checks and it automatically have identified the connection between the website. That is the only reason it's allowing me to move to the next step, where it asking me, do I want to schedule scans also? This is also depending on your own personal preference, or when you're offering to client, depending on the package they might choose. You can choose either you don't want any scheduled scans, or do you want, I want daily scans of website, or weekly scans or monthly scan, depending on your need. I like to keep it at daily for my case, but if it's not important, you can keep it as weekly also. And here are the options where if it discovers some kind of threat to your website, do you want to clean up that threat, like remove that particular virus without any affecting your website? If you want, you can choose it up. But if you want to be extra careful and I don't want it to remove anything without asking me first, then you can disable this option. That is the default one. But if you want it to automatically clean up for you, you can turn this up and it will do everything for you on the back end itself. And you can also restore any of the deleted files, so that option is also available for you in case even if you turn it up. And in case if you want any kind of notification regarding this virus protection or cleaning details, you can turn that up as well. If you want to enable website firewall to protect your website from possible DOS attacks or any spam bot traffic, you can turn that as well. So I'm going to turn on all of this option and going to click on finish, and you can see it shows that now I have successfully synchronized my website to VirusDie. Now I'm going to click on and start the website scanning process. So you can now see that it automatically started scanning your website. You can see it shows the progress, it shows which is the current directory it's scanning. The time it takes to run the scan going to be depending on your number of file or how big your website is and all the different sort of factors involved in it. So I'm not going to wait for this, but I'm going to showcase another website which I've been using for a long time and show all the features and functionality using that particular website profile. So now you can see that I have opened another website of mine which I use VirusDie on, which is Digital Marketing Tamil. And this is some sort of like once the scanning is finished, it will show you all the summary. Basically, it gives the name of the site and the option to rescan it in case if I want. And it does gives you option to directly go into several different option menus. And also it shows the summary of like is there any current infections or any vulnerabilities which I need to look into it, and it will show, for example, in this case it shows there are no infected files and when it was last scanned. And also it gives you some sort of statistic for the firewall as well, like how many requests was blocked and what kind of percentage here. And it shows like what kind of reporting function I have enabled, like for email alerts or customer report on these kind of reports which I was showing you earlier, on which email do I want to send it up that. In order to view more details on it, you just need to click on anywhere here or just click on this arrow. You can just click on anywhere here and it will open up a pop-up. Now you will see all the options and functionalities of VirusDie for this particular one single website. And you can see it shows that there are no different threads were found on this. So I can close this up and it shows the summary of it. For example, it shows no infected file was found when it was last scanned. It also gives me an option to disable automatically cleanup. I can view the last report if I want on the last scan and how many it was scanned, when it was done, all those stats. And I also can see the history of all the different scan it performed. You can see all the different functionality whenever the report was created. It shows all the data here. And when I go into vulnerabilities, now it shows all the data related to vulnerabilities. Is there any vulnerabilities it found for my particular website when it was last scanned, and their last report, and as well as the history of the vulnerability scan. In case if I have excluded, for example, in case it mistakenly marks one of your theme file or plugin file or any of your website file as potential malware or threat, you want to exclude that file because you know that it's actually safe, then you can exclude any of it and it will show everything here. And then gives you an option to, in case if you want to turn back that, you can do that as well. So this is where the website security functionalities work. When we go into the second tab, is going to be the firewall of this website. Basically, it gives you an overview of all the statistic. Currently you can see how many thread it blocked and what was the regular traffic for all this different one. We also see a dashboard of all these things, and we can turn off the firewall or turn on the firewall according to this. And also we get some more idea on what kind of threats it was, like DOS attack, SQL injection, XSS, suspicious upload, and a statistic on all the different statistic on. For example, you can see on November 12th, it blocked 22 requests from 2 different IP addresses. If I click on it, it will show me more data on with the geographical map location, and as well as this, where now I can either whitelist this IP address if I don't want this to be blocked, or I can make it to add to blacklist as well. And if I click on it, now I can get more details on it, like what are the action it took, where this was trying to open up different functionalities and everything. So depending on that, you can decide on whether do you want to whitelist, blacklist, all those sort of things. If you click on any of this arrow, it will again minimize it. And if I go into IP whitelist, now I can see all the IPs I have whitelisted. I have not done anything, but you can add it from here. IP blacklist, same concept. In case if you want to block certain IP, URL whitelist, example, any URL you want to whitelist, URL blacklist, same concept depending on your need. But if you're a basic beginner, you don't need to set up any of these things. These are for advanced settings in case you need it. Country blocking is where you can block different countries depending on your need. You just need to click on any of it and it will start blocking on depending on it. You can also use the search functionality. I'm not using it because I am allowing all the traffic for my website. The third tab is the file manager, where it gives you a tool to explore all the different files within your website directory. You can see all the directory. Basically it shows my, if you are using a server, FTP server or cPanel, when you go into Find Manager, this is what you will see on there. Basically it gives me all those stuff within VirusDie itself, so I can go inside different folders, I can look into different stuff, I can see the permission which is currently allowed, I can exclude this particular file, or I can delete it, or even if I want to view certain files, I can click on that particular file and it will open up and show me on a file editor, where I can edit this if I want. You can see, once you edit it, you can save it, or you can download it, delete the file, and you can also view info details and as well as file permission details. So basically it gives you a full access to your website file without even needing to log into the cPanel or your server hosting or FTP client. You can get all the data from here itself. And when I go into the settings, where now I have the control of the settings of for all the different functionality. First it shows that is it correctly synchronized with this, and it shows what is the next scan, and I can adjust this website scan schedule as I want here. I can turn off the clean on, I can set up like send email notification, website firewall, and like these things. Also it shows me like how much I do want to keep the firewall strength. Like, do you want to keep your website firewall strength to a low amount, or a medium, or very strict? So depending on your need, you can set it up to a different one. If you are not sure on which to choose, I would recommend medium, but depending on your preference, you can change it obviously. And here are the patching stuff. If you want to connect FTP stuff, you can give the data here. If you want to remove this website from VirusDie, you can remove it from here. So those are all the different functionality within VirusDie. Everything is very simple. Once you install this VirusDie in your website, there is nothing you need to log in again and do it, or you can do all the actions and statistics from within VirusDie itself. Now let me give you some insights or tips into the offering VirusDie as a service to your potential customer. Basically, this could be one of a good upsell or additional compensating service, sort of like when you're trying to offer these kind of services for digital clients, anyone who has website, or anyone who's coming to you with the infected website, or trying to recover one of your website from a virus threat or from a malware PHP attack, because these are very common. When it happens, clients does not know what to do, because they are remained with, most of the time if it's a premium web hosting service, they will interfere and try to recover the site. But especially if your clients are in something like shared hosting or low budget hosting, something like that, it obviously increases the chances of infection. And as well, sometimes they might not even help the website. They will simply say you need to fix your problem. If you are unable to do it, you need to move you to a different hosting. There are times which has happened to me as well, so it's going to be different from each different hosting. But if you want to do that, you can offer it as a service. Like, or if your client does not already have an infected website, when you're doing something like a web designing services, or when your website owner comes for, if you know your customer, you can try to upsell them and say, because this is not a uh, just a gimmick of service, because it's actually doing a real good work. Even if you are not manually doing anything else, just setting up something like VirusDie to scan your website every day, and setting up a firewall functionality firewall functionality for the website, it is going to be working 24/7 for you. It is going to be keep on scanning it. It's going to let you know all the infection and functionality. It's going to be monitoring all the traffic details and monitoring all the spam or potential threats. So even if you are not doing anything else, it is going to do all the work for you. Because of that, it requires really less effort on your end. All you need to do is set up the service, set up the report settings. If in case if you want, you need to define the intervals for it. In whenever there's a issue, you can look into it. Or even if it's something like that, you can set up auto cleaning if it's a non-important site, or you can set up person manual cleaning. Depending on that, you can take it over there. So this is a good one of, if you are a digital agency or if you are a web designer, this could be a great a service you can offer, which I'm personally offering also through my digital marketing agency. You can see I mentioned website and malware cleaning side, where the client can come directly for these kind of services. Or if you are completing some sort of different digital marketing services, you can always pitch them on this, like show that you can remove this, you can protect it, safeguard it, and show them some of the experience for different users. If you search on internet, on website hacking, virus issues, all those things, you might see a lot of scary situation, because we never know the importance of something like a website security unless something happens to one of our website. That is where all of our options are limited. We can't serve our customer, we need to protect our files, we need to make sure all the customer data are safe. That is a scary situation in it. So if you can educate it and even offer it as a smallest price, if you can manage to it, there is no virtually no other efforts required from you by just setting it up and trying to run a 24/7 service for your customer. That is also what I am personally doing it, and thought to share you more details on it. So I hope this video was useful. If you have any other questions or doubt regarding anything on Virus Die or as a service, feel free to reach out to me either through the group or ask it in the comment. I will get back to you. Once again, I hope this video was useful, and thank you so much and have a great day. Cheers.